Hi, it's Marissa from bumblebeeapothecary.com. Today I want to do a little bit of a different kind of a video and show you right in my kitchen just what I'm making for dinner. And this is going to be a GAPS diet recipe. It's the GAPS Italian Casserole recipe from the GAPS Diet Cookbook. And so I'm just going to show you how to do it. So if you're the type of person who does not want any talking at all and you want just the recipe, then you're going to want to head on down to the description box where I'll have the full written recipe and all the directions for you there. But this is going to be a little bit of a different video where I'm going to show you just how I'm making this for our dinner tonight. It's going to be kind of chatty. I'm going to show you some behind the scenes stuff and some other things that are going on around here because I have had requests for more behind the scenes daily life type of stuff. So I wanted to make this video kind of like that. So let's jump in and I'm going to get started throwing this together. If you're curious, the Italian meat casserole recipe is on page 186 of the yellow GAPS book. So that's what I'm going to be loosely following. So I have a package of beef chuck short ribs here that I'm going to be using for this recipe. And I have 2.32 pounds. So I'm probably gonna, in my mind, round it up to say like 2.5 pounds. And the reason why I want to keep track of the weight is because I need to know how much water to add to make a good meat stock that's not too watered down. And I learned that the proper ratio of meaty bones to water when you're making meat stock is roughly 1 quart or maybe like 1 1/4 quarts of filtered water for every pound of meaty bones for meat stock. So that's why I want to keep track of how many pounds these are. So I'm going to stick them into my roasting pan. And these are actually frozen, which is fine for this recipe, which is nice if you forget to plan ahead. Next, I'm just going to add a couple other things to it. I'm going to add my onion and some garlic. So I'll go ahead and get that cut up and put in there. When you're making a meal like this, or whenever you make meat stock, you are making things to be a whole meal. So go ahead and cut the vegetables and everything that you add to be the way that you would like to eat them. It's different than bone broth where you can just like chop an onion in half and throw it in there. Go ahead and cut it small enough that it will be a nice size for eating. Now I'm going to add a few cloves of garlic. Oh, and I forgot, I need to preheat my oven to 300 degrees. So I'll do that real quick. Okay, and then I'm going to add some peppercorns, just a little handful, and a couple bay leaves. And then I just need to add my water. So I have a quart jar here. I'm going to fill this up about 3 times to add my water. Using filtered water from my Berkey water filter. So the cook times for meat stock varies a little bit depending on what type of meaty bones that you're using. So these are beef bones and it started out frozen, so I'm going to plan on about 6 hours total. So I'm going to let these go, put the lid on, put them into my 300 degree Fahrenheit oven for 3 hours. And then after that point, I'm going to come back and chop up some carrots and leeks and go ahead and add those. So we'll stick this in the oven now. Set my timer for 3 hours. So after 3 hours, we'll come back and check on that and add some vegetables. In the meantime, I'm going to show you just a little bit of what's going on in our backyard during this time of year, our garden and chickens and things like that. So here we are out in the backyard. Our laying hens are really enjoying getting moved around on all the fresh grass, so they're very happy. Over here we have our garden beds still laying dormant, kind of, our 6 that we have so far, and then 3 new ones that we built. Here the growing season is so short that it really doesn't make sense, I've found, to plant any earlier than Mother's Day. So we're still waiting to kind of get the chance to till these up a little bit and put our seeds in there. Hopefully in the next couple days we'll get those planted and going. But we have compost from keeping baby chicks that we mix in there, compost from processing our meat chickens, and we find that works. Yeah, are you talking? We find that works really well. And then over this way, I will show you our meat chickens that we have. We have had them for, let's see, 2 weeks. Yeah, they're gonna go to pasture in 1 more week. So they're in here in their nice safe enclosure with their feed and water. We give them some grass every day too. They're getting used to not having heat lamps on them during the day so that they can get used to living out in the pasture where they're gonna go next week. So they're doing really well. What are you working on? Trying to put a trailer on a truck?
Yeah.
That looks fun.
I'm doing this.
Legos?
Yeah.
Very nice.
I'm titling.
Getting ready to film a few other videos today too of some different skincare products. And then we have Mr. Baby here playing with toys.
Mr. Baby.
So we're back in the kitchen. We're going to pull the Italian casserole out of the oven and then we're going to add the vegetables to it. It's been in there for 3.5 to 4 hours, so a little longer than I originally said, but that's the beauty of these things. They are very flexible. You just want to give the vegetables about an hour before you plan to eat so that they have long enough to cook and get nice and soft. So let's pull it out and add those. Oh, it's looking good and it smells amazing. You'll notice that it's more full than it was before because I did go ahead and add some more meat. I had some more packages of the same kinds of meat, and so I decided to make a bigger batch than I was originally thinking. Just because I do like to batch cook and do pretty large portions at a time, especially with this kind of thing, because you can make so many different meals from one amount of meat and meat stock, and I'm going to go into that some more in some later videos too, showing you how you can use one of these meals to then make more. So I'm just going to cut up my carrots into little coin sized pieces and add those to the pot. And I'm just going to use a fork to kind of spread those out to make sure that they're all submerged under that nice meat stock. Next I'm going to go ahead and add some broccoli. I don't have any fresh broccoli at the moment, so I'm just going to add some frozen that's actually been sitting and thawing for a little bit before I add it. If you have fresh broccoli, you just want to make sure that you use just the floret part and not the fibrous stalk, because that would be too much fiber. As far as the vegetables, you can be so flexible as depending on what stage of the introduction diet you're on, what's in season, what you like. You can make this dish so many different ways just by changing the vegetables around. Okay, I was originally also thinking about putting some leeks in there too, but since it's so full, I think I'm going to not do that. I'll probably use a lot of this meat stock for another meal and use the leeks in that instead. So I'm going to put the lid back on and put this back into the oven. Okay, and I just remembered that I didn't put salt in before once I put it to cook, so I'm going to actually add that now, just kind of to taste. Now we'll put the lid on and put it back in for about an hour. Okay, so the hour is up, so we're gonna pull this out of the oven and take a look. It smells really good. Very nicely cooked. So you have your main dish with your meat and vegetables in here, and then you have meat stock made at the same time. So with a meal like this, you'll have plenty of meat stock to use for other meals on the side, or you can strain it and make soup. And then when we eat this, we will also have cups of meat stock alongside it. So I'm going to dish some of this up onto a plate. Okay, so there's the meat and vegetable portion, and then we will ladle out some meat stock. You'll have to taste the meat stock. You may find that you want to add some more salt to it, or it might be good. It just depends on how much you added during the cooking. All right, so there it is, all ready for dinner. This is what we'll be having tonight. And when we serve this for dinner, we'll put some sauerkraut alongside. And depending on what stage you're at and what different things you're eating, you can do sauerkraut liquid into the meat stock, you can add egg yolks into the meat stock, you can do sour cream, lots of different ways just depending where you're at. And I hope that you enjoyed seeing that. Hopefully that was fun to see it a little bit differently behind the scenes like that. Make sure to leave me a comment and let me know what other videos that you'd like to see. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with anybody else you think would like to see it. Here on my channel, I show you how to make nourishing recipes for nutrient-dense food, natural remedies, and DIY skincare and home products. So if those are something that you're interested in and you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I get out 2 videos every week. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.